In this chapter, we're going to be learning about vectors. Now, you already know some things about vectors, which you learned in single maths, but now we're going to push that on to the next level. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a new type of product. You already know the dot product, hopefully. We're going to learn about the vector product. So I'm going to begin with a reminder about what the dot product or the scalar product is. So recall that the dot product is this. A dot B is the modulus of A times the modulus of B multiplied by cos theta. So the dot product of two vectors is a number, and it's found in that way. Now, it turns out that there's also this other way to work out the dot product. So for instance, and I'm considering 3D vectors here, but this could be scaled up. So for example, if your A was the vector 2, minus 1, 3, and your vector B was 4, 0, 1, and you dotted them together using this formula, we get 2 times 4 is 8, plus minus 1 times 0, plus 3 times 1. We get that the dot product of those two vectors is 11. Now, you could combine that with this form, and that could help you, for instance, find out what cos theta is, and therefore what the angle between them is. We're not going to get into that. You already know what the dot product is. The key point here is that there are two forms which work out the same thing. Now, our vector product also has two forms. So here is the starting point. The vector product of two vectors A and B is the modulus of A times the modulus of B times sine theta multiplied by n hat, where n hat is a unit vector perpendicular to A and B. So, big difference between the dot product or scalar product and the vector product, also sometimes called the cross product, is that the output here is a vector, not a number. The output of the scalar product, the dot product, is a number. The output of the vector product is a vector. Just like the dot product, the vector product has two forms. We need to know both, and I will make an optional video for you that shows why these two are the same, but it's warning, it's algebraically quite intense. So the other form is this. Now the key picture is something like this. If you have some vector A, like that, and you have some other vector B, like this, doesn't need to be the same length at all, doesn't need to be pointing in the same direction, anything like that, then the vector product is a third vector which is orthogonal to both. What does that mean? It means that it makes a right angle with A and a right angle with B. So it is perpendicular to both of those. And the length of this vector here is the modulus of A multiplied by the modulus of B multiplied by sine of theta, where theta is the angle between A and B measured anti-clockwise from A to B. So that's the modulus of it, and then the direction is this n hat. So you want to imagine n hat is like a vector of length 1 pointing in that direction, and then its modulus is mod A mod B sine theta. So if mod A mod B sine theta is like 10, then you've got a vector which is 10 units long but pointing in exactly the same direction as that n hat. Okay, so that's what's going on. Our vector product gives us a new vector with a modulus or magnitude of mod A mod B sine theta and a direction which is perpendicular to our vectors A and B. So this is the formula that we use. Now that looks a little bit hard to remember, but it turns out there's a really neat way of finding this. And it's by considering the following matrix. We start with I, J, K, and then we just list out our two vectors A, B, and C. So our vector A, I maybe should have been clear with that, our vector A has components, I component A1, J component A2, and K component A3, and then B similarly has an I component B1, J component B2, and K component B3. So we write I, J, K, and then we write the components of our vector. So A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, And we can just find the determinant of this matrix. Because look what happens when we do that. We have I multiplied by the determinant of the little submatrix here, which is A2B3 minus A3B2, which is exactly what we have here. So A2B3 minus A3B2. If we keep going, we then have minus J times the determinant of this little submatrix, A1B3 minus A3B1, then plus K times the determinant of this little submatrix, A1B2 minus A2B1. So A1B2 minus A2B1. And if we write this out in column form, lo and behold, we get exactly what we have up there. Okay, so that is how we compute what the vector is. So let's go ahead and just apply that. Like I said, an optional video later on to give you a derivation of why these two forms are the same, but we'll come to that later on. Okay, so here are two vectors, A and B. So let's compute the cross product now. And we'll do that using the determinants form because it's so much easier than trying to memorize this. So the way we do that is I, J, K, write down my vectors, 3, minus 2, 6, then 1, 4, 1. Pop that in modulus to get the determinant, and what do we get? Well, it's I times minus 2 minus 24, so that's minus 26, minus J times 3 minus 6, that's minus 3, plus K times 12 minus minus 2, so that's 14. I prefer column form. You can go with I's, J's and K's if you like, but I would write this as minus 26, minus minus 3, and 14. So what are the key facts about this vector that we found? Well, its magnitude is modulus of A times modulus of B times sine of the angle between them, and it's perpendicular to both A and B. Now, some of that, like I said, optional video kind of proving that later on, but let's just check that it is actually perpendicular to A and B, because that's an important point. We're going to use that fact a lot. So if it's perpendicular to A and B, it should be that the dot product or the scalar product of A cross B with A or B should be 0. So let's just dot it with A and see what we get. We're hoping that this is 0. Okay, minus 26 times 3, what's that? That's minus 78. Then it's minus 6. And then 6 times 14 is 84, so plus 84. And lo and behold, that is 0. Cool. Let's just do the same and check with B. So that will be our cross product, no, our vector product, which is our cross product, dotted with B. And we're hoping that this is going to be 0 as well. So let's see. We get minus 26 times 1, plus 12, plus 14. Yep, that's also 0. Good. So it's met that condition. Now, of course, we could use this as a very roundabout way of finding sine theta and therefore theta. Generally, if you actually care about the angle between two vectors, you'd use the dot product, the scalar product, but we could do that here. I'm not going to do that now. The key thing is I wanted to just work through how we actually find out what the answer is. Like, that is the answer, because the output of the vector product is a vector, and it's this. Here's another one. So again, pause the video and try this one for yourself. Let's go ahead and find the vector product. So I, J, K, and then it's 6, minus 1, minus 1, 2, minus 5, minus 1. And we want the determinant of this. So that's I times minus 1 times minus 1, so 1, and then minus 5. 1 minus 5 is minus 4. A lot of minuses there. Minus J times, and then it's negative 6 minus minus 2, which is plus 2. So minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. And then it's plus k, and it's minus 30 plus 2. So that's minus 28. So in total, that is minus 4 plus 4 minus 28. And there's our vector product of A and B, which I'll leave you to just confirm is indeed perpendicular to both these. You could do that using the dot product. So that is our vector product. It is a vector and it's perpendicular to A and B, and its magnitude, its length, is modulus of A times modulus of B times sine of the angle between them. Okay, one final little point is, maybe some of you have been curious, is A cross B the same as B cross A? And the answer is actually no. So A crossed with B, the vector product of A and B, is going to be the negative of the cross product of B crossed with A. And that's because of this sine theta here. That sine theta is measuring the angle anti-clockwise from A to B. If you're measuring it from B to A, then that angle is the negative of what it would have been. Right, if it's 30 degrees from A to B, it's minus 30 from B to A. And when you take sine of the negative value, you get negative of what you would have had for the positive values. So this down here is A cross B. B cross A would therefore be 4 minus 4 and 28. So the order does matter here. It doesn't for the dot product, and that's basically because cos theta, you could take theta as positive or negative and you get the same answer. Okay, in the next video, it's an optional one where I derive, sort of prove that these two are the same. If you like your algebra, stick around for that. If not, I'll see you in the video after that.